Hello everyone, I'm Zath and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be my May manga haul. Some very colorful spines are the theme for this month's pickups, which I always love. They look great on my bookshelves, and I'm here to tell you they look great on yours. This has been another month of solid titles for me that I highly recommend. Now, sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's talk about some manga. Starting us off this month is My Love Mix-Up Volume 3. This series has quickly become one of my favorites. Aoki's facial expressions are one of the best things about this series. This volume had even more over-the-top expressions, which were hilarious. I'm not a huge fan of high school drama, but this series does it so well. It's truly a blast to watch fleshed out characters navigate the unsure waters of romance. Unfortunately, this series just wrapped up in Japan, and I'm pretty devastated to know I won't have a longer time with this series, or something similar to Takane and Hane's length. Still, this has been a terrific series so far, and I've loved every volume. Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, and Volume 6, by Haro Aso and Kotaro Takata. Zombie movies and media are probably my least favorite subject matter. Most zombie stories don't even make sense. People wear skimpy clothing while knowing that one scratch can literally turn you into a zombie. So many people can't run in a straight line without falling down. That being said, I was intrigued by this title and its story's description, not to mention these colorful covers and spines. I drug my feet with it, but then finally decided to pull the trigger this month. This story is about a young man named Akira who joined a company with high expectations only to learn he was hired by an extortion company. After 3 years of becoming like a lifeless zombie as his work sucks his soul out of him, he catches a break. One morning, the zombie apocalypse arrives and saves him from ever having to go into work again. I really liked this concept. Instead of the normal doom and gloom, oh no, the world's ending, Akira sees this as a restart to his life, and decides to live life to the fullest. Obviously, this is a comedy, but I actually really liked the series more than I originally thought. The usual zombie tropes are turned on their head. Each volume was a pretty easy read and shorter than normal Viz signature volumes. The art style works well with the narrative, and I would recommend giving the series a try if you want some laughs and to see a different type of zombie story. Prince Freya Volume 6. It feels like an eternity since I last read a Prince Freya volume. I almost forgot what happened last time. It starts us out with Julius and Freya captured, but even in captivity, they learn of a potential path to allying Nock with Tyr. The series is so well done. The drama, the action, and of course, some good-looking men vying for some affection. The only thing I found disappointing is the size of this volume. It is quite smaller than the others I picked up this month. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait all the way to September for the next one. Here's hoping it won't be longer because there is quite the drama to conclude. The Savior's Book Cafe, Story in Another World, Volume 2. This second volume is even better than the first. Sukina is worried when Il doesn't return for a week after going off to fight some monsters. They have an adorable reunion, and the two grow closer when Sukina invites Il to stay with her while he recovers from his injuries. Sukina tries to keep her savior status hidden, but it proves difficult when there is an outburst from the town's own savior. No joke though, I read this volume about 3 times this month. It was so good and heartwarming, comforting in a way. Like sitting in front of a hearth, all comfy and relaxed. While some people may want to brush this story off by labeling it too simple, I don't necessarily think simple is a bad thing. Sometimes a fluffy, straightforward story without unnecessary drama around every corner is a good thing. I've already pre-ordered the next volume and I can't wait to read it in July. Golden Kamuy, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, and Volume 11. From a hotel of horrors to man-eating bears and Yakuza to eccentric taxidermists, these volumes were wild and all over the place. You go from laughing at one scene to really being told a heartbreaking story shortly after. The ending scene from Volume 10 really packed a punch. But I think it's a great job when a storyteller can cover the whole emotional spectrums with their characters and plot. Either way, I still have several volumes to catch up on, and I hope I can read more of this fantastic series soon. Spy Family Volume 7. I know everyone's hyped about the anime, but let's not forget to give some love to the manga. I really love this cover with little Damien on the front. I really enjoyed this volume a lot. From seeing Damien interact with his father, to Bond playing spy with Lloyd, one of the strongest points about the series is how well it blends comedy with the serious topics. And despite all that, we still get these good, wholesome moments that really warm our circuits. This volume in particular is leading into what I consider some of my favorite parts of the series. As I keep up with the series on its weekly release, I've read ahead and know what is to come, but I always like rereading these volumes when I add another to my collection. As for the anime, if you haven't started watching it yet, I highly recommend, though you probably don't need me to tell you. I feel like the manga did a better job introducing the story than the first couple episodes, but it's definitely caught its stride now, and it's pretty great seeing everything animated. Ten Dance Volume 5. I have one more volume to read before I catch up to the current English releases. Wow, the hurt really came in sliding in with Volume 5's revelation, if you will. Its ending was pretty sad, but in all honesty, I was a little torn up about it. On one hand, the issue that I will not state plainly, as you should read and experience for yourself, seemed like two people could talk about it and not have it be the end-all be-all. Basically, what it boils down to is a miscommunication, and not being honest with your partner. On one hand, it seems a little foolish for a character to never thought about this particular issue or discussed it in the past. I guess Saguki never thought outside the box to other possibilities in their relationship. This particular drama felt a little silly, but your mileage may vary. Either way, I need to get to the next volume and find out what happens to these two. Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Edition, Volume 17. Out of the entire series, this book gave me quite the scare and shock. Even when rereading this volume, I was on the edge of my seat. Arakawa does such a great job of making us care for all the characters, so when they're in dire straits, we definitely panic. Oh, the scene with Alphonse still hits me hard to this day. It's so wonderful to read this ending arc again. Some beautiful full-page spreads, and that ominous last page that will lead us into the final showdown. Solo Leveling Volume 4, another volume of this manhwa published in full color by Yen Press. We see Jinwoo receive a badass job upgrade, and boy does he show it off with some really cool ways. We get to see some more world building and other major players, as well as a super cool new dungeon adventure and some possible teasers for something in the future? I don't want to spoil it, but we get to see some awesome boss fights in this volume, and honestly, these volumes are always a blast to read, but unfortunately we'll have to wait all the way till September to read the next one. Wrapping up this haul is going to be my favorite ongoing shonen series, and that's Kaiju number 8, Volume 2. Reno takes the cover for this volume, and I absolutely love the colors they used. Right next to the red of the first volume, it looks great. As you all can probably tell, I love series with colorful spines. This volume starts off with a bang as Kafka steps in to protect everyone, exposing himself in his transformation. Action-packed from cover to cover, this series really takes off with this volume. We get to see more of the cast and characters during their combat, including a favorite character of mine, Iharu. He's cool, his hairstyle is just awesome, and he cares about his friends. Truly a good egg. The full page spread in the last chapter literally still gives me chills every time I see it. I keep up with this series digitally, but I'm so glad Viz published this in physical form too. If you want to read an ongoing shonen title, it should be this one. And that's gonna do it for my May manga haul. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you have any opinions on these series, or any additional recommendations for new ones I should check out, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of this content, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on social media through the links provided in the description below. I'm Zath. Have a good day.